Hello and welcome to Wednesday Debate Live with Taghrit Hussein here on Nile TV International. Tonight we'll be talking about the features of the new republic. Among the features of the new republic is Egypt's gateway to a smart life, our smart cities, of course, and more. The president stated that Egypt has made a pledge upon itself to move forward towards development in tandem with the countering challenges. Throughout the last years, Egypt had made continuous efforts to expand its economy, and those efforts include building the new urban cities and also establishing industrial as well as economic zones that stimulate growth and that increase productivity. Also, there have been developments in all fields in Egypt, whether in roads, the bridges, the tunnels, also the building of the smart cities, the improving of the slum areas, and establishing smart universities, so the Egyptian youth could be on the same footing with their peers all over the world, with the world great powers. All those achievements actually prove a significant fact, and that is that the Egyptian government is sparing no effort to embark on key economic as well as social reforms on a multitude of different and various fronts, and mainly with a very important purpose, which is developing the state and ensuring a quality of life and a better tomorrow for all Egyptians. A short break and we will be back to discuss more about the leading story that made headlines earlier in the day and the events of the Egyptian South Korean pyramids air show that took off at the foot of the Great Pyramids of Giza. What a spectacle. It's a dazzling performance that has attracted attention of the world. We'll know more right after this.
العرض الجوي بيراميدز اير شو 2022. عرض جوي فوق سفح الأهرامات بمشاركة فريق النسور السوداء الكوري الجنوبي مع فريق النجوم الفضية المصري وفريق طائرات الهل جازيل المصري. ينفذ في 3 أغسطس 2022. العرض الجوي بيراميدز اير شو 2022. علاقات وطيدة بين مصر وكوريا الجنوبية.
Close relations between Egypt and Korea. Events of the Pyramids Air Show 2022 combined clusters from the Egyptian Air Forces and the South Korean Air Forces. And that, of course, as it was shown, took place at the foot of the Great Pyramids of Giza and took off earlier in the day. The two sides had launched the events represented by the South Korean Air Show squad that is called the Silver Stars and the Egyptian counterpart, namely the Black Eagles. The show had involved performances by Egypt's Gazelle helicopters that are known as Horus and by a free-falling paratrooper team from the Egyptian paratroops forces. The events had kicked off by the military musical performances as the Egyptian musical band had played a number of patriotic musical different pieces that was accompanied by the distinctive rhythmic movements, after which a paratrooper was airdropping and also holding the beautiful flags of both countries and the slogan of the air show. The Egyptian helicopters, known as Horus, did a formation performance while carrying the flags of both nations and the flags of the chief branches of the Egyptian armed forces. This was followed by the entrance of the Delta Squad, dubbed the Stars, from the Egyptian paratroops forces. The air show team of Egypt did a number of aerial maneuver over the foot of the Great Pyramids of Giza, while the Silver Stars of South Korea squad and the Black Eagles of the Egyptian squad both carried out a group of performances using the aircraft. This was later followed by a display of navigational shows from both squads while flying the aeroplanes, the TB-50. That's Egypt's paratrooper free-falling team that managed to execute a number of parachuting performances, distinctive ones, that were interposed by playing a variety of musical performances and pieces from the Egyptian military musical band. The overall performances seized the admiration of the attendees, for they definitely reflected the befitting picture of Egypt's status as a regional power, together with its elite standing regionally and internationally as a country that houses many archaeological and touristic sites and areas. So over and above, those air shows come as an expression of friendship and cooperation between Egypt and South Korea. The Pyramids Air Show 2022 was attended by the Minister of Civil Aviation, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Minister of Tourism, Minister of Antiquities, Commander of the Armed Forces, General Mohammed Abbas Helmi, Assistant to the Minister of Defense, Staff Brigade Lieutenant General Ayman Shahata, along with a group of public figures, this in addition of the media personalities and the armed forces and officers from the Korean Armed Forces and the Korean Air Forces as well. We have also, of course, attending was His Excellency, the South Korean Ambassador to Egypt, the Ambassador Hong Shin-wook, and the South Korean military attaché in Cairo. So it was a dazzling performance that was really very inspiring and have proven the great performance and talents that was actually capturing the headlines throughout the day. Short break and we'll be back.
Discover Korea. Be inspired by nature. On exclusive with Taghreed Hussein. A dazzling range of experiences for travelers. The beauty of a high-tech nation balanced by reverence for tradition. Nile TV interviews top-notch officials in Korea. Discover Korea on exclusive. Only on Nile TV International.
It was actually very inspiring to talk about the New Republic and the features of the New Republic because with absolute determination, solid will, and people's cohesion with their leadership, Egypt was able to overcome the several challenges in order to start a new and a promising phase in Egypt's history under the slogan of the New Republic, which is a modern republic that believes in and implements the comprehensive building of Egypt and of the Egyptian character. So tonight we'll be talking about the Egyptian character and also about the Egyptian youth and how to shape their identity, an identity that matches the enthusiasm and the strength of the Egyptian character in the New Republic. Stay tuned, we'll be back. Well, thanks, Marwa Madidin, for the beautiful promo concerning the smart cities. Tonight we'll be talking smart cities and also smart universities. We're going smart, and this is actually a great choice because it's the choice of the century and the beat of the moment. And I have every honor of having with me in the studio live to talk about smart cities and smart universities, smart education, and also going green. Dr. Ahmed Tawab, professor at Menofia University. Thank you so much, Professor, for coming to Night TV International and the Daily Debate live Wednesdays with Taghreed Hussein. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Taghreed. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And while talking smart, and we're saying that we're going smart, it's very important while going smart to make planning and also to prepare those who are going smart for this important phase. And
right.
While we are, of course, pinpointing and highlighting tonight the new republic with its components,
right.
Among the components, the smart cities, the smart universities, how are we preparing our youth today,
right.
while we are focusing on the human capital and the human potential to be up to the new phase, to be up to the new republic?
Very promising, very significant, and very positive as well. Talking about smart education and smart living style today is something that is essential. It's part and parcel of our lifestyle nowadays because we are witnessing a revolution. As we discussed that before, that is digitalized revolution, and we have to cope with all of that. Just the other day, a few days ago, I heard that the governance, the cabinet, they decided to hold the first meeting in Al Alamein, and we are supposed to have other meetings in some other new smart cities. What does that mean? It means that there is a radical change happening in the mindset of the officials in our country. Why do we move to such cities? Because we would like to attract tourists, because we would like to create these places to be a hub for marketing for our country, because we would like to invest in our youth, in our students, because we would like to make the country to be taking a very, very huge steps for development. Today we are talking about what's happening is the infrastructure for the internet. We have high-speed computing infrastructure today, and we are building new cities, the new administrative capital. We are talking about El Galala. We are talking about also, on the other hand, when it comes to education, we are talking about civil universities, international universities, and all of them are well connected by one smart digitalized system. Why do we have that? Because we would like to take a wonderful step for development, because we would like to take a step for competitiveness globally and locally, and we would like also to build a strong network with the other side outside the country. This is the best way. I do salute everyone who is thinking in this way, in a smart way, in order to get the job done and to be on the right path.
Right. As a professor of linguistics, you've chosen the word wonderful, and it's always great and wonderful, you know, to see those promising projects happening on Egyptian soil. We do have developments on more than one level. We're going smart, smart cities and smart universities. Both are interrelated because the whole environment is bringing the smart vibes, let me say. Besides going smart, we are also, you know, working on preparing our youth for the industries. Look at the very important meeting that took place under the directives of the President, where His Excellency had instructed the government to proceed with plans in order to advance the labor industry, the textile industry. So, your opinion concerning vocational training and how about those smart cities? Does going smart means that we are going to leave whatever traditional behind, or are we going to go in parallel?
I think that technical education is part and parcel of the whole process for what's happening today in our education. Believe it or not, and I know that some people probably may not like my opinion here, we are taking very, very impressive steps when it comes to changing the education to be something smart and to be something sophisticated. And I think that, as you said, vocational and technical education is something that is extremely important. Egypt realized that from the very beginning. Today, there are a lot of schools that are being built in this field. that there are also a lot of skilled laborers that we are trying to train them. We are also trying to export and import experiences. Today, the experience and the experts, that they are the wealth of the country. Today, we are talking about the economy of knowledge. Today, we are talking about the bank of knowledge and the bank of information. That didn't happen before. So we are talking about something that is unprecedented. And I think that when it comes to the technical, I think that we need also to change the mindset of the people. It's not today as we had before in the past, like the top colleges and the down colleges. Today, the situation is different. It is who you are, what are the skills that you have, what are your talents, and how could you make something beneficial for yourself, for your community, for your society, for your country at the end.
Yes, this is actually the main noble goal, that we are working for a better quality of life for all Egyptians. And in order to accelerate this, definitely we are helping students in our universities today and preparing them for the smart era, let me say. And we've seen more than once His Excellency the President encouraging the youth also to go for sports. And rather also they would use bikes instead of any other means of transportation. So how are our universities like sportive and cultural edifices today as you see them?
You know, Tagreed, I think that this is something related to the awareness. And we used to talk about this strategic keyword before. You said in your introductory part, go green. Using the bikes and the bicycles and using the sports, this is part of the culture of green. Today, when we talk about the youth, we are talking about how can we put incentives and how can we motivate them and how can we push them forward. This is the point. The question is, how can we do that? Well, first of all, there is a strategic plan by the government in order to help the youth to go forward for that. Remember the International Youth Forums in Sharm el-Sheikh. Remember the National Academy for Training for the Youth.
And here we can, as we can see, His Excellency awarding the top athletes awards. And this is, in fact, is very inspiring because at the end of the day, you find this as a great inspiration, and this sense of recognition and appreciation definitely gives incentives to move forward.
Right, very true. And you know, this gives the impression of being appreciated. This is extremely important. This is something that is very motivational for everyone. When I go and work in any place, when I involve in any activity, and I see and I feel that sense of appreciation, this is a positive feeling that I can get. I think that such a step is wonderful. It sends a clear message for everyone that Egypt is standing behind its youth and they are supporting the youngsters to take further steps in order to help and build the country at the end.
Yes, women empowerment in the full sense of the word has been seen also while encouraging our beautiful athletes coming top and clinching gold medals, like, for instance, Hannah Gouda, and we have also our squash player, Noor Sherbini, and definitely they go hand in hand. So we are encouraging, of course, today sports, the athletes, the inspiring role models. Whenever we are together, we also talk about the inspiring role model, Mohamed Salah, because Salah today is not only inspiring for Egypt, but he's inspiring for the world youth at large.
That's true. Actually, Mohamed Salah is becoming nowadays a phenomenon. He's a phenomenon, not just for the Egyptian youth, probably I would say for the global youth as well. It is an inspiring story that, and very, very motivation for everyone that we would like to see something here. As I can see here now that this is something... The king. And I think that this is something that's very important, which is how can we draw the lessons and how can we understand that by working hard, by struggling in our life in order to get our target, by having systematic way of thinking, by using smart techniques, by having different trainings, by having also different networks. And I think in this way, I think that what we really would like to do today is we would like to provide and give the youth a model. And we have a wonderful model here today, Mohammed Salah. So I think that he's someone, I think that he's a source of inspiration for everyone. And when I was just talking with my colleagues in the US and in Europe, they were stunned and inspired by his story. So this is part of the soft power of Egypt.
Yeah.
So I do remember, for example, in the past, the famous actor like Ismail Yassin, though he was well known in the Arab world. And so today, I do remember Omar al-Sharif as well. Today we have someone else.
Yes.
So this is one of the treasures for our country, Egypt.
Yes, definitely. And this is a continuation of the great legends of this country. You know, our grand ancestors never stopped from dazzling the world. And here we can find the pharaohs, the young ones, also doing a great job. So we're really proud of them all. Building the Egyptian character again, being proud of our identity. Going smart means being smart enough also to preserve our heritage.
Right.
How are we doing this balance, Professor, in your opinion?
I think that this is a very important point, which is how can we connect between the past, the present, and the future. When we talk about that we would like to go smart, when we talk about that we would like to develop the country, that doesn't mean that we are neglecting our past or our history. History is part of our identity.
Yes.
We talked before about the Egyptian identity and the Egyptian character, and if we would like to understand what is identity, then we have to realize very specific points: history, geography, religion, culture, the social aspects, even in language. As you know that I am a translator and interpreter and a professor. It's part and parcel. When I train my students, I always tell them that you have to keep in your mind the historical background, the geographical background, to be aware. So the word aware here is very strategic in order to have the awareness concept. This is something that is used nowadays as a weapon. In order to face the challenges, you have to be aware what's going on. Today, I meet a lot of people, probably they are not happy about the economic situation. It happens, but if we look outside Egypt, the inflation is rising in every part in the world today. So we have to realize.
This is awareness. We should make them understand and quite aware
this is very
of
important.
all the challenges
Absolutely.
happening worldwide.
So there is a challenge today. It's a global challenge, and we have to deal with that. So it's not a local issue, but it's a global issue. It depends on your understanding and your awareness. This is what we are talking about. Going smart to build the awareness, and putting also in our campaign, in our steps, also the historical and the geographical background as well.
Yes, as we as a country, we're working hard on branding Egypt globally, and this is going actually working on more than one level. On the touristic level, we can see the fabulous events, the amazing events like the Rams Road and the Mummies Parade and more. And also on the construction sphere, like the new administrative capital has been making headlines as the capital of the new republic. So how does the world see such achievements, Doctor?
I think that they are observing what's going on in Egypt, and they are trying to learn how can we take a few steps in a very short time to build such constructions. I know that it's a huge amount of money that's being spent. More than $65 billion is spent, but it's for the infrastructure of the country. Today, we can just say that we have a solid network for electricity. We are also trying to adapt ourselves to the challenges when it comes to the water. We have also the construction plannings nowadays. So I think that this is something very important. It is an attractive point for a lot of people. I met a lot of visitors coming to Egypt. They told me that we would like to go to Sharm el-Sheikh, but we would like also to visit the new administrative capital.
Definitely. The fourth generation cities that are built across Egypt. We will open new smart cities. It's not only the new administrative capital, but we have in Aswan, in Mansoura, in Rosetta. Well, lots and lots of achievements that we're really proud of. Short break, we'll be back.
اللي شايفه حلم أو خيال، أوصف الجمال ده أقول في إيه؟ اللي جه وشاف ده كله قال بصوا شوفوا مصر عاملة إيه. ده اللي شايفه قلبي وعيني، الجمال ده يا عيني جنة ولا عالبال. اللي شايفه خيال واخد قلبي وعيني، الجمال ده يا عيني جنة ولا عالبال. صدق اللي هتشوفه بعينيك، في البلد دي لسه فيه وفيه دنيا تانية حلوة بتناديك. بصوا شوفوا مصر عاملة ايه. ده اللي شايفه خيال واخد قلبي وعيني، الجمال ده يا عيني جنة ولا عالبال. اللي شايفه خيال واخد قلبي وعيني، الجمال ده يا عيني جنة ولا عالبال. بصوا شوفوا مصر عاملة ايه.
Yes, as we've seen in the beautiful filler concerning New Alamein, بصوا شوفوا مصر عاملة إيه. Look and see what Egypt has achieved. Well, a lot actually. The New Alamein city has been a sense of attraction worldwide today, with the dramatic development that has been undertaken, reflecting, of course, also another dimension, which is Egypt's soft power, because
Right.
we've seen concerts being held in
Right.
the beauty of New Alamein. Also, this is branding Egypt globally and introducing New Alamein to the world. How are we working in that, and can our youth help in that as well, in like marketing those new cities to the world?
I think that when Egypt started to think about Al Alamein as a strategic location, it does have a long-term vision. The reason for choosing Al Alamein, it's more than one reason. One of them is a touristic perspective. So in order to create that concept of therapeutic tourism and to have the treatment and to have the health style of life, then this is the right place. Then there is something else as well, Tagreed, which is called the educational tourism as well.
Yes.
So, and this is why we have a new smart civil university, which is called Al Alamein University as well.
Yes.
Why do we have such university, and what is the role of the youth? As you said, they play a significant and a brilliant role, as a matter of fact. We are today trying to bring international students to come and invest knowledge in Egypt. We are trying to build a country that could be used as a hub of knowledge and a hub of smart thinking styles.
Yeah.
And we are putting incentives to international students to come. And as you know, that I teach in different and across Egyptian universities. So in every Egyptian university today, that there is a department for bringing international students to campus in Egypt.
Yeah.
So this is something that we are trying to do, which is how can we market the country from the educational perspective as well.
Yes.
This is what's happening in the US. This is what's happening today in Asia and in Europe. And so today we
And
are
happening
just,
in Egypt.
And today it's happening in Egypt.
Like we do have the
So-
different cultures
Right,
around.
right.
mean, in Sharm el-Sheikh, bin Salman University, we
Right.
have the French University,
Right.
we have a German university and
Right.
an American university.
Right,
So
right.
Egypt has it all.
This is what we are saying, that this is the diversity of the community. We've been talking, just a few days ago, I was talking with the folks in at bin Salman University in Sharm el-Sheikh, and I was amazed by such wonderful facilities and also the diverse students that they have. It's exactly what's happening here in Cairo in different universities as well. This is a wonderful and a positive propaganda for education in Egypt to the whole world. And this
Yeah.
is one of the reasons why did we choose Al-Alamin, for many specific reasons, and the youth play an important role when it comes to the development process here in this way.
Yes, very important, playing also a very important role in Egypt becoming a hub,
Right.
an educational hub as well, and to
Right.
education today as a tool.
Right.
While we are able to disseminate our soft power, our culture and identity to the world. Egypt and digitization, and
Right.
universities and digitization. Are there pros and cons?
Right, right. I think that I probably might stand for the pros of the digitalized education. I'm a big fan for what's going on today in Egypt. And let me say that I'm also enjoying what's happening, because that there is a transformational step happening. We are trying also on campus, we are trying to change the syllabi in our universities nowadays. Today we are setting up and building very specialized programs. And for me, in my field, in the field of languages and the translation, there is very specific and specialized, well customized programs in order to serve and help the students. Today we are not dealing with the students as we used to do in the past, like a traditional way, but we are just dealing with them as they are not the receivers of knowledge but producers of knowledge. And how can we do that? It's based on creativity, based on innovative way of thinking, based on entrepreneurship, based on how can we find different solutions for the current challenges. By applying such untraditional, unusual way and the strategy, in this way we can just overcome all the challenges and build the country and make youth to be involved in such a developmental process.
Yes, this is the key word, make the youth involved. And that's why while the World Youth Forum had kicked off and the National Forum at the very beginning, that was the main aim and goal, how to attract those youth to this platform, this great platform of decision-making, and
Right.
how to make them part and parcel of the decision-making process, how to prepare them for leadership. This is what really counts. How can we prepare the youth today for leading positions, like in 2 minutes, because
Right.
actually we need to leave on a very optimistic note.
All right. Well, let me just tell you that is how can we motivate and push the youth? I think by providing them a model, and we have different models nowadays. And let me conclude our wonderful talking today, Tagreed, by what Dr. Ahmed Zuhail said before, that just give the youth the power, give them the incentives, give them the motivation, and you can see what they can do to help and to serve and to build the country. I think that this is what we believe in nowadays. Based on my past experiences, on my current experiences, most of my dealings with the youth, with the youngsters, and I'm really so proud to say that the driving force for any development happening in any society, it's by youth.
Yes, definitely the youth are the engine, they are the dynamics, they are the power behind any sort of achievement. And tonight we were talking smart cities, smart universities, smart education. And Dr. Tawab had also emphasized the importance of education being a tool to achieve this sense of going smart and going digital. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Ahmed Tawab, Professor at Minufeya University, for coming to the debate tonight.
My pleasure, Tari. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. We have monitored earlier in the day the close partnership between Egypt and Korea at the Pyramids Air Show, and that was what a spectacle that really was amazing and attracted world attention. The mother of the world continues to dazzle the whole world. Long live Egypt. Many thanks for watching. I'm Taghreed Hussein.